Guess who's back? I used to be broke, confused, no joke. Got used, smoked dope, paid dues, refused to give up quick. Now there's 10 million motherfuckers on my dick.
So what? Say how? Say who? Fuck what? Fuck me? Fuck you. Come clean, you know I will. Drink a fifth of Jim Beam and still stand still. I'm the illest fool, cooler than the water in a swimming pool. Fly like a seagull, kicking like a mule. More jams than a beetle from Liverpool. I deliver, fool.
Now who the fuck are you?
I'm Kid Motherfucking Rock from the old school. Got more money than Matchbox 20. Get more ass than Mark McGrath. They say I'm cocky, and I say what? It ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up. They say I'm cocky, and I say what? It ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up. I'm from the outskirts of Detroit, Rock City. A-shirts, Cadillacs, big titties, skinny models, you can keep those. I like big corn-fed Midwestern hoes. Don't you know? Talk fast, pimp slow, show up to black ties.
All right, so it is Sunday. I did not make it out here after the old double shift yesterday. I was out here for a minute. I did make a short video, but yeah, I don't know, I was exhausted. Anyway, so we're out here Sunday morning. What you just watched was, you know, the saying goes, measure twice, cut once. Well, this was measure twice or 3 times and still have to form this metal like 13 different times. So anyway, yeah, the goal is to get that piece to fit inside this piece, because that piece is going to be inside that piece, and this is going to be over top of that piece down there. Got it? All right. So what I'm about to do is cut this, because it's kind of jagged. You can see where it's wavy right there. I'm going to take probably like a little bitty cutoff wheel and get in there, because that's all that's going to fit, because I got this cab mount and the frame and whatnot there. So I'm going to cut that where it's perfectly straight up and down, and then hopefully that piece will fit right in there. If not, then I'll trim some more accordingly, but I figured it'd be better to cut this sideways stuff, angled stuff, than to cut this, because at least that's the one thing I did get right, is that's nice and square on the edge. This ain't too awfully bad now that it's done. I mean, it's kind of wavy. That was definitely not the best way to do it. But that is going to be down there. Nobody's going to see it. So, that's that.
Motherfucker, if you back it up, cocky, and I say what? It ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up. They say I'm cocky, and I say what? It ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up.
Well, I now have this piece where it fits in there. That was the first time I have ever used a Sawzall on this truck. I do not like to do hackery, so I try not to. This isn't exactly in the right spot, but you know what? It'll work. It's gonna be kind of hard to clamp this thing. I may have to just drill some holes in the bottom and then Cleco this edge to the floor in there, so that way it's weldable. And I'll probably just tack weld that and then wait till I get this off the frame, because that is going to be a very hard spot to weld, because I got all this. This is kind of in the way. It is farther forward than this, but either way, the frame's in the way, the drive shaft's in the way, the PTO over there is in the way. And I really don't want to be rolling around on the floor and welding above myself, because you know how that goes. Hot metal down the shirt. And so I think I'm going to put the structural piece in, weld it, and then put this in over top of it. I'll prime, once I get the other piece in, I'll prime it on the outside. So weld that in, prime it real good, and then stick this in, clamp it, and weld it real good. I think that'll look pretty good, honestly. If I get it in there all the way. I have to beat it some on that side over there. But yeah, let me show you this. All right, so there's a hair bit there. That's fine, because that'll be filled with welds in it. And it's about the same on this side. But yeah, that looks pretty good. And then, once I get all that welded in, I'll go to the other cab, cut out this section. I'll prime that, obviously, and then I'll cut out the other section and weld it to it. Cool.
Baddest bitch in the world. They say I'm cocky, and I say what? It ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up. They say I'm cocky, and I say what? It ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up.
All right, so I've welded that piece in. I welded right here and on the other side, but not from the bottom because this cab mount's in the way. So I was thinking, oh, I should just wait, do the rest of this since I got it made when I have this cab off the frame. But I think what I determined I'm gonna do, so that way I can continue making progress here, is take a jack, support the corner of the cab, pop this mount off the frame, because it's only bolted on, and it's bolted to the bottom of the cab, 4 bolts in the frame. Take that out, weld the bottom, both sides, put it back together, and then pop this up in there like it goes, and then weld it in, and then this will be done. And then I can go ahead and focus on scabbing this piece in, and then from there, I'll worry about this mess over here.
That's why I'm slapping my gardeners and fucking my maids. Never mind my age, but if we're taking numbers, 15 million sold, motherfucker. They say I'm cocky, and I say what? It ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up. They say I'm cocky, and I say what? It ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up. Cocky, and I say what? It ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up. They say I'm cocky, and I say what? It ain't bragging, motherfucker, if you back it up.
All right, so I primed that piece, the other piece that goes over that. I'll prime the inside of that. So that way, everything that's gonna be enclosed is primed right now. And I'll just go through with some acetone or the grinder and just knock off paint just a little bit where I need to join that piece. What I'll probably do is just drill holes through it, to be honest, and tack weld it through those holes. So that way it'll have a hole through the outside piece, and the tip of the drill bit will make just a little bit of bare metal right there. And that's how I did the roof. Yeah, so that was another thing. I should have been videoing this entire process, but I took a handful of time lapses over the course of it. Took a lot of pictures, so I could probably make like a collage of pictures of everything that's been done. But yeah, just started videoing as I was redoing this passenger side pillar. So it's all right. This thing, it will get really good whenever I finally get a drivetrain for it. And then we start swapping this cab over. It's probably gonna be a pain, but it'll be worth it. It'll be a pain because I don't have a lift, so I'll have to get creative doing that. But it will be worth it. We'll figure something out.
Cowboy. Cowboy.
Well, hopefully we were able to tell on the time lapse. I did in fact get some of these dents out. There's still one right here, and that was the worst one. But I was yanking on that two-handed, and it was not coming out. There's There's another one right there. Maybe that one is deforming this whole area. Maybe I should try that. But there is, in fact, a skim coat of Bondo over this. There may be a little bit more than a skim coat now. There's a dent right here, right in this body line. It's like flattened, like it's all flat. It's not like where one of these nuts or bolt heads hit and made basically a hexagon, a bunch of little hexagons all down through here. So I'm trying to yank those out, and I don't know if you can tell from there, the cab is like farther out at the bottom, and I'd say that's a result of the wreck a lot. And then this is not attached down there. That's only like 1/8 of an inch where it's got the gap in there. I don't know, let me look from over here. I mean, 1/8 of an inch, I would say, would help it some. I don't believe this is gonna be perfect because this is a wrecked truck. It is, and not to mention the floor was cut out where it was channeled. And the floor that we put back in there, it was just 18 gauge steel, and it was just a panel. It wasn't like structural as much as the factory floor was, I'm sure. So it did in fact twist the frame. This was on the 84 C10 frame, had the 84 6.2 diesel. They were out of 2 different 84 trucks. We just did it the hard way, I guess. But anyway, yeah, it twisted the frame. It's just a 1/2-ton frame, but still, it was pretty solid. It did in fact bend the frame, twisted it. So, pretty good little collision. Yeah, I really wish that I had a shear, like a big long foot shear, so I could shear off perfectly straight lines, but unfortunately I do not have one of those. I did cut into my hand a little bit right there. That's awesome. So anyway, this piece here is going to be connect this one to that side, so that way I have structure to weld the bottom of that cab over there too. So it fits pretty nicely. I'm gonna have to come over here with the grinder or that little air tool thing, clean this up because it's kind of rusty right now, and I'm gonna cut that one open because it's got the structure of the cab around it, the back side of the cab sheet metal, and this one's cut out right there. So I'll open that up, clean them both, and then I'm gonna weld this across. My game plan is gonna be tack each side right there and over there, so that way they're connected, and then go down the middle and tack over the middle in a few good spots. And so then while this is still open before I weld the back of the cab on, then I'll come in there with the primer and blast all this, so that way it's covered with primer, it won't rust, and then we'll be ready to chop that cab open, the back half of the blue cab, and weld it in.
Kid rockin', I'm the real McCoy, and I'm headed out west, sucker, because I wanna be a cowboy, baby. With a top left back and the sunshine shining. Cowboy, baby. West Coast chillin' with the booze. I wanna be a cowboy, baby.
I didn't even realize it at the time, but before I cut this out, I just thought that was like a diagonal cut, but it's like the thing's like torn. The metal's torn, so that's pretty crazy. I wonder how that happened. But anyway, we're gonna weld her back into place and clean her up like she never happened. There we go. Put a clamp on there and weld her. Well, there's that. I filled in that spot. You can't even really tell that's there other than the grinding. And I ground all that smooth because I gotta have the thing sitting flush against it, and I don't want it wavy where the welds are. So there she is. She's nice and flat. So for anybody that has caught on or is wondering, the other cab has a little hump right there where the transmission tunnel was. I'm not gonna worry about that. Hopefully, I mean, this is the very end of this anyway. Like, I've already built the floor inside the truck flat, so I don't think this is gonna affect it any more than the flat floor is as far as transmission clearance, because the worst thing is I'll be able to see. I mean, I don't want this sitting too low on the frame anyway. It's going to be a 3/4 ton truck, but obviously the C60 has a nice straight frame. That's why I wanted to use a C60, nice long straight frame to work off of. But whatever the Dodge that I use, it will be a crew cab long bed. You know what? Screw it. Let's go look at the 4th gen right now. If I had to guess, I would say that it's like all other pickup trucks where the frame is lower under the cab and then does that number under the bed. So I intend to use a 4th gen. It may be this one if it hits a deer or a tree falls on it or something. But yeah, right there, it goes up. So that's good enough for me. That is good enough for me. I don't think I'll have any issues with clearance. Whenever, what's the clearance? What's the Vector? Victor? Yeah, those guys. All right, anyway, the thing I was wondering about, it's got the flat floor, so I'll just take all these linkages out before I pull the cab, obviously, and then pull this panel out, and I may have to make one. I'll cut it up and make it to where I can still take it in and out. Like, I'll just build to the flanges that have the bolt holes in them. So, because on, let's see, the orange truck, no. The orange truck sits high enough on the Dodge frame that I didn't have to worry about changing that. The rat truck that I did, the flatbed dually, I did have to build a transmission tunnel for it because somebody had cut it out already, I believe. So I had to do it anyway. But yes, that did have to get done. It was 2-wheel drive. That didn't really affect where it sat on the frame because it was the same as the orange truck. It was on a 2nd gen frame. So it sat pretty much the same. I did make it a hair lower though. Had to notch the frame where the front end goes down into the frame behind the bumper. Got the dogs all excited because I made an appearance outside for once. But yeah, that's where we're at. I guess now it's time to cut the other cab up. I'm gonna go ahead and, let's see, that one has holes in it too. No holes. Oh, it does over there. Well, anyway, that is where those holes are. So I'm probably gonna cut this out and scab in where these holes are messy too. And also, while I have this as far as I do, I wonder if it'd be a good time to just go ahead and cut this out. I have to make a nice straight line to wherever, from there all the way around. So that's gonna be quite a bit lower than where it's at. I don't want to cut it that high. So yeah, we'll see. That's gonna have to get done. Also, this mount up here, while it's crawling around under here, it is worse than I thought. The front is also rusting out. So you can see the bottoms, and it's rusted out right there. And I want these to be solid because that is where the steps hang off of the C60. Of course, this C10 never did have steps, so, but the bolts are still there. So like, this is the C60. So let's see, I think those were fine. And then I had to build in this piece of metal when I did this, so that way I could bolt to this, because the fronts of these pillars were rusted out on the black truck. So there you go. Now you can see how I built this. I just cut the cab mount of the black truck at an angle and slid it under this piece, which is that piece. And then I welded it to it. And I gotta go back in here and clean this up. I had to cut that hole out. That's a real janky hole, but I cut that out to get clearance on that bolt. For some reason it was where I couldn't get a socket on it, but I'll clean all that up. That bolt's not even in there. I gotta take these rockers off anyway. Here's another thing that's going on. Hopefully you can see it. Where is it? Right there. Somebody must have used a jack or dropped this truck off a trailer or something, because this rocker is bent up, and this is supposed to be a flat piece in here. And it is also crumpled right there. I don't know if you can really see it. Yeah, there you can definitely see it. So while I have the rocker out, I'm gonna try to straighten that. It's not like a super big deal. The only thing it's gonna be a big deal is if when I mount the rocker back up, I'm probably just gonna buy new rockers. But it'll be a big deal if it doesn't line up. These rockers, this one's not that bad. There are 2 rockers on this truck that are bad. See, this is the extent of the rust in that one, but honestly, I need to get under there anyway, because there's all kinds of dust and crap from driving over the years. And I'm gonna pour 15 it and prime it over top of the pour 15. That's how I did the roof. Well, not all the roof. That's how I did the drip rail, specifically over the front window, because that's not new steel like all this is. So I put in pour 15 real thick on that one. It was still wet a day or 2 later. Obviously that where 2 metals join, it was a valley, and it was kind of like rounded there because I put it in so thick. But yeah, this rocker is one of the not so good ones, and it's really not that bad, I guess. I mean, I guess it depends on what you're going for. I want this truck painted up and slick, so. And then this one's the other bad one. It's got a little bit of rust right there. I guess not. Well, no, this is the other bad one, actually. I mean, this has got starting rust right there. I didn't even know that was there until just now, to be honest with you guys. I'd cut this one out because I messed with the floor. This was a gaping rust hole, and I filled that in. I'm gonna go back whenever I have this out, because I welded this to the bottom of the floor, and this is like welded into the floor, so it's nice and flush and ground smooth. But this looks like crap. I'm gonna cut it all the way out and then form a piece that actually fits in there. So that will make me happy, because I don't like this rust is freaking giving me the willies right now. This is where I lose all my tools at, it looks like. Yeah, that's what made me happy about cutting that out and putting in brand new steel, because this is nice and pretty. So we'll try to get all the areas that I've worked on looking like that. The drip rails definitely do. They got a little bit of surface rust now, but they were slick pieces of metal. Look at all this, Jesus. That hurt my soul a lot to cut that out. But look how freaking bad this is, and I had no idea. Jesus, man. So I got some work ahead of me, it looks like. I guess I better go ahead and order some rockers and cab corners. I mean, I don't know. I know I could fix those rockers and this, but I don't know. I mean, let's see. If I put 18 gauge steel in it and sit here and mess with it for this long, is it gonna be faster and easier and more efficient and better choice overall if I do that than just ordering some? Oh my God. Oh my God. Holy crap, where did all this come from? Yeah, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck, man. Yeah, I don't know how exactly I'm going to go about fixing all this. I know I have this bottom piece over there. So, I guess what I'll have to do is just put a new piece of metal out here, which that's thicker than what I have. I have 18 gauge, and this is more, I don't know, it's a gauge or two thicker. But the good part about this is all this is going to get cleaned up now. I might as well just go ahead and cut out this little section and clean that, because like 1 or 2 spot welds down here was actually attached. The rest of this was not, and then 2 or 3 down here was attached, and then all the ones right through there were attached. So this is a lot, man. This is a lot. Truck's about to be naked. I'm gonna have to take all this crap apart and tear into it. Oh man, this is a lot. I think what I better do is go ahead and weld that piece I got sitting on the table right there. It goes on the inside. So that was a mess earlier. I should have measured 3 times because I still cut twice or 3 times. So anyway, yeah, I need to do that, and then I can put this cab mount back on and get this jack out of my way because it's still down here. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so here's an update. I welded the piece up on the inside. I wore a Carhartt jacket and some thick gloves, and I managed not to get burnt, so that was awesome. But I primed that. I don't remember if that was done in the last video. I went and dug this out. So this is gonna be the replacement for this mess down here. So I guess what I'm gonna do is go get some of the angle iron I have sitting back there, build a jig from the floor to somewhere over here. I'm gonna take this door off, pop this rocker out, and patch that. And I got a little bit of Pour 15, probably not enough to do all this crap, but I'm gonna clean all that. I'm gonna clean everything that's in there, and I'm gonna attempt to patch this rocker, because it's not that bad. I mean, I'm gonna see if I can do it. It's not that I can't afford a new one, it's just that I wanna see if I can. Which I'd say I built this whole truck, I'd probably do that. But I'm gonna have to take, what I'm gonna do is take like a straight piece of metal and bend it and just splice it in somewhere midways and then clean this thing. It's gonna be baby butt smooth. It's not gonna have any paint left on it by the time it goes back on. I'm gonna fix that lip over there. Is that oh yeah, there's a little bit of a rust hole right there too I'm gonna have to mess with. But you can see it's got the wave in it where somebody used the jack or whatever. I'll straighten out that piece behind it. I'll replace the panel right there, I guess. I think since this is a slip over type, I'm going to cut out what's bad there and then just scab in a new piece and then still put this over top of it. Just cause, for good measure. So, but yeah, I don't like rust. I want this thing to be solid. I want it to outlast me. If somebody runs into it, I will have a baseball bat for you. So, that's the plan. Well, I guess this proves that they're made at multiple different factories, because that side lines up perfectly right there. And then as it goes a little further, see, that's nice. Oh, there it's not so nice. And there, it's not there at all. Anyway, yeah, so that's scabbed in for the most part. Well, start of it anyway. I guess a quick Google search would show me how many different factories these were made at. Once again though, this is 65, this is 64, so who knows? Alright, so here we are. This made a hell of a mess. I definitely decided I'm gonna get new rockers. It'd be stupid to use these after pulling them off. They're pretty rusty. This one off the black truck. This one off the blue truck. Yeah, there's no point. I got this thing. So just a second ago, I cut out that piece of metal. So that is that piece right there. I ground off these nuts. They were half rotten anyway, so I'll put brand new ones there. I had one on there, but I was an idiot when I did that, and it was a lock washer, and when I welded it, it just melted all the plastic out of it. So I'll weld one to that too. And then I'm gonna enclose this pillar. And then I've got two of these sections cut out. They're sitting right there. I'm gonna bend two new ones. That was the only spot that was rusted through. And then once I get all this done, I'm gonna clean this the rest of the way. Put a bunch of Pour 15 on this after all this is done. And that's done too. And then I will hopefully have new rockers by then. I'm not gonna get to mess with this that much this week, unfortunately. So they'll probably be here by the time I'm ready to put this back together.